What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey. And today, we're going to talk about this NFL matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the LA Chargers. All right, so this game is set to be played September 8th at 4:05 p.m. East Coast time in Inglewood, California. All right, odds set at Chargers by 3. Totals at 40 right now. Yep, and it's still that Chargers by 3, totals at 40. Let's look at this, man. Let's take a little deep look into this matchup and see what we're actually getting into with these two teams, right? So, Las Vegas Raiders won 8 games last season and now enter their first full year under coach Antonio Pierce. All right, now the Raiders have made the playoffs just twice since the 2003 season. The Raiders have one of the weaker quarterback situations in Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, and running back position took a major hit when they got rid of Josh Jacobs. That just doesn't even make any sense, man. Like, I don't understand what y'all doing out there. All right, now, however, so the Raiders wide receiver room includes Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers, which can make some things happen. But if you can't run the ball, what does that matter? Okay, like I know we're in a passing league, guys, but at the end of the day, you still have to be able to run the ball, and Josh Jacobs was very, very vital to that. Like, I'm not getting that part, but. Anyway, let me get back on topic, right? So, defensively, the Raiders will make their money on that side of the ball. The Raiders' defensive line with Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins is one of the best in the league. Trayvon Moehrig is coming off the best season yet at safety, and Jacorian Bennett, yeah, he was like that out of Maryland last year, man. All right, so he should be more comfortable with another year under his belt too. So the Raiders aren't getting much love in a tough AFC West, and the QB position doesn't help as far as like judging it on paper. All right, but however, the Raiders are a playoff threat because of a top-level defense, and that's not going to budge, man. The Raiders will play against the Ravens in this next game, but like I said, that doesn't matter who you play the next game. It matters who you playing right now. And who's in front of them right now? Jim Harbaugh is in front of them right now. Back in the NFL, straight off a natty in college football. Can his system truly still translate into the NFL, man? Let's talk about it. So, the Chargers are coming off a 5-win season and now begin their Jim Harbaugh era. You know, the Chargers made the playoffs just 3 times since the 2010 season, and the Chargers have one of the better young quarterbacks in the league, Justin Herbert, but there's not a lot around him, and I always still question the young man because he had so many weapons. It's not even funny. He had Austin Eckler, he had Keenan Allen, he had Mike Williams, he had a decent offensive line to great offensive line at one point in time. Like I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. You got all them players on defense. I know what y'all are saying. Like, the team is hurt every year. Like, every year, somehow, some way, the trainers can't manage to keep these boys healthy for the Los Angeles Chargers. But at the end of the day, dog, like, what are we doing here? Okay, how is it that every single year, one side of the ball or the other side of the ball or both sides of the ball is consistently injured? All right, like, and it's the same. It's been like that for. It's been that for, man, 15 years, maybe 20 years. It's been like that, you know. That's a long time to not be able to keep anybody healthy, man. And that means it's not just what the players are doing out there on the field getting hurt by some type of circumstance. No, it's something y'all are doing out there. It's something you got going on out there. Like, it's something, for some reason, you are not, your training. It has to do with your training staff and whoever your doctors are. Like, that's the best thing I can guess. And the only reason I say that is because when you look at Like, let's look at the Phoenix Suns, and I know this is way off topic, but let's look at the Phoenix Suns training staff versus the Orlando Magic training staff. All right, so Orlando Magic had Grant Hill. He hurt himself and was never really able to play. And they had Penny Hardaway, and he hurt himself and was really never able to play again like that until he went to Phoenix. Both of them, once they get out to Phoenix, they were able to play again. Okay, and they're not the only players that happened with. And so it comes back to whoever your training staff is and your doctors, guys. Those are very important. But let me get back on topic. So top-tier quarterbacks usually can create weapons, man. But it's a fair question why they put Herbert in this situation. Like, the Chargers should be capitalized on the moment and instead are rolling out an extremely weak unit on the offensive side of the ball. Now, defensively, the Chargers should have one of the better pass rushes in the NFL with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. The thing is, the secondary has two bright spots as well with Asante Samuel Jr. and Derwin James. The question with Chargers defense has depth, particularly in the front seven. Right now, overall, the Chargers have the quarterback and the head coach. But is that enough to survive in a stacked AFC, man? That's what the real question comes down to. So, I know this doesn't really bear much weight, but anyway, we're going to get into it. Last season, the Chargers, we'll start with Vegas. Last season, Vegas averaged 19.5 points per game, which was the 23rd worst offense in the NFL, whereas the Chargers, they gave up 23.4 points per game, which was the 23rd worst in the NFL. Synchronicity, guys. You know what I mean? And then let's go ahead, let's look at this on the inverse, man. So in the inverse, the Chargers, 20.4 points per game is what they scored last year with Justin Herbert and all those weapons. Okay, make it make sense. If y'all can make that make sense, then I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, right? It's 21st worst offense in the NFL. Then when you flip it over and you look at Vegas, this is where the advantage begins, guys. Because Vegas, they only gave up 19.4 points per game. That's number 7 defense in the NFL last year, man. And they returned a lot of those starters, and they got a little bit better as well. So you got to understand that it's not going to be the cakewalk when you playing this team and you coming from college, instituting a new program, instituting a new system. Y'all get where I'm going with this? All right, so in the last 10 games, let's just talk about Vegas, right? Last 10 games, Vegas was 5-5. They're 7-2-1 against the spread. So that's 7-2-1 push against the spread, and they're 4 to the over and 6 to the under. Once again, biting defense bite. Then you look at the Chargers. Chargers are 2-8 in their last 10. They 3-7 against the spread, and they 3 to the over, 7 to the under in their last 10, man. So, like, when I'm saying it and when I'm giving it to you, I'm giving you facts, right? Especially when I hit you with this. So, in the last 10 times these two teams have played head up, Raiders own this 6-4. And then against the spread, Raiders own that as well, 6-3-1. Over under, that's even, 5-5. But when you look at where they've been playing situationally and how it works out like that, situationally, the home team has only lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3 times in the last 10 times they played. All right, and usually the winner, whoever the winner is, they're the ones who's going to cover, guys. So that means that whoever is the one that Vegas is looking at, that is the winner, meaning giving up the points. It leans that way. I hate to say it, I'm just saying. So remember, home teams usually win in this series, and Vegas leans a certain way, even if it's against Vegas. All right, so Las Vegas Raiders have hit the fourth quarter game total under in 12 of their last 17 games, whereas the Chargers have hit the third quarter game total under in 11 of their last 14 games. Starting to see a trend here. Las Vegas Raiders have scored first in 10 of their last 17 games, whereas the Chargers have scored first in 11 of their last 17 games. Stay away from that one. Vegas Raiders have hit the first quarter money line in 9 of their last 20 games, okay? Whereas the Chargers have hit the second half money line in their last 3 games. Just soak that in for a second, guys. All right? And last but not least little thing I want to give y'all, okay, is Vegas Raiders have hit the first quarter money line. Well, I'm sorry, nope. The Vegas Raiders have hit the first half total over in 7 of their last 10 away games. And the Chargers have hit the fourth quarter money line in 4 of their last 10 games. So you know which way to lean on that one, guys. All right, now let me go ahead and get back to giving you guys the end game, where we're at, what we're looking at, and how to make this money, right? So why the Raiders have a good chance at winning this game, even though they're on the road. All right, so the Chargers have lost each of their last 5 games as slight favorites, being 3.5 and under. Anytime it's been under 3.5, they have lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, just I'm trying to give it to you like it is, guys. All right, now the Raiders have won 4 of their last 5 Week 1 games as underdogs against AFC opponents. The Chargers have failed to cover the spread in 9 of their last 10 September games as home favorites. The Raiders have covered the spread in 8 of their last 9 road openers as underdogs against the AFC opponent. The Chargers have lost the first half in each of their last 5 games in California. All right, now the Raiders have also won the first quarter in 4 of their last 5 September games as underdogs against AFC West opponents, and the Raiders have scored the first touchdown in 7 of their last 8 games played on the West Coast. If you look at their player props, DJ Chark has scored a touchdown in each of his last 4 Week 1 appearances. Justin Herbert has thrown 3 or more touchdowns in each of the Chargers' last 3 September games against AFC West opponents. J.K. Dobbins has scored recorded 59 plus rushing yards in 5 of his last 6 appearances. And remember, that was with Baltimore. And Justin Herbert has recorded 279 passing yards in each of the Chargers' last 4 September games against AFC West opponents. DJ Chark Jr. has recorded 43 plus receiving yards in 8 of his last 9 appearances with his team as a favorite. All right, and Justin Herbert has recorded 22 plus completions in each of the Chargers' last 11 September games. All right, where you looking at Vegas with their player props? Devontae Adams has scored at least 1 touchdown in 6 of their last 7 September appearances. So 6 of his last 7 September appearances, he scored a touchdown. All right, Devontae Adams has recorded 74 plus receiving yards in 7 of the Raiders' last 8 Sunday games as road underdogs. And Alexander Madison has recorded 24 plus rushing yards in each of the last 10 road appearances, guys. Max Crosby also ranked tied for first in the league for tackles for loss with 23 last season, just so you know. And just some matchup facts, man. Like I said, the Chargers ranked 2nd in the NFL in average punt return. The Chargers ranked 30th in the NFL in passing yards allowed per game last season. The Raiders ranked 30th in the NFL in rushing yards per game last season, and the Raiders ranked 3rd in the NFL in average yards per punt last season. So they both did a lot of punting, and they both can punt the ball. All right, man. So the line's kind of surprising. The Chargers are breaking in a new coach and staff and have some serious questions on the offensive side of the ball. Yet still, the line is in their favor. Vegas Raiders have one of the top defenses in the NFL and should be able to make life really difficult for the Chargers, especially now they don't have all those weapons on offense, man. And I think Justin Herbert's going to start to learn what it's like to be in the NFL without all the weapons at your disposal. So, I like the Raiders +3. I know that the home team usually wins. I know all that stuff there, but I like the Raiders +3. I'll probably add a couple points on that. I definitely love the under the 40, but that's also something I might add some points to as well, leaning that direction, guys. But I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. I will post my pinned comment to the top to let y'all know what I actually do end up putting in and where I'm leaning and how I'm feeling. Please have a blessed day. Stay safe. I'm gonna see y'all at the window, man. Peace.